Hello, I'm Dan Whelan, Senior Reporter for Place Northwest. I'm in Warrington today at the site of the former Sycamore Primary School, where Wates Construction is building more than 90 homes for Warrington Council's arm's length housing division Incrementum. Today I'll be talking to Dave Saville of Wates Construction and Steve Park from Warrington Council about what goes into making a scheme like this happen. Tell us a little bit about this project, how it came about, and the relationship between Incrementum, which is Warrington's housing delivery vehicle, and Wates Construction. Steve?
Okay, so going back to 2018, this site was a former primary school nestled in a residential neighbourhood, and that primary school closed as part of the reorganisation of schools in the area. The Borough Council has got a policy of homes delivery, good quality homes, affordable homes on brownfield sites in good communities, and that's what we have here in Great Sankey and on this Sycamore site.
Yeah, it's really coming together, isn't it? Some of the houses already occupied. Yeah. Dave, tell us a little bit about the collaboration between Wates and Warrington in terms of making this scheme what it is currently.
The collaboration piece it works in many ways. We were having a discussion earlier around some of the housing here, how it was influenced by planning. You know, the residents were concerned around overlooking, etc. And because we were able to get that feedback early, we could manipulate the design to give the optimum solution. We're also introducing low zero carbon technologies on the scheme, which was a big part of the drive on fuel poverty that the council wanted to achieve on this project, reduce fuel poverty risk. So there's many options, and then actually in delivery as well, the collaboration continues on. We've had some testing times over the last few years with the economy and impact of COVID, particularly on resource and product supply. And throughout the period we've been able to work very closely, alter the specifications slightly to make sure that we maintain the delivery programme that we've needed to achieve.
Absolutely. And Steve, what do you need from a public authority perspective from the private sector to make a project like this work?
Well, I think we need to be very clear that local authorities are not house builders. What the local authority is good at doing is the place shaping, the advice on the planning, and establishing some collaborative and strategic relationships with organisations like Homes England, without which we wouldn't have been able to afford the ground source heat supply here. So the private sector needs to bring that expertise to the table. The public sector needs to exploit what it's good at around place shaping and partnerships with other government bodies. Rigid contracts that perpetually place local government under the cost increases are just never going to work. So this iterative approach where we can have flexibility around a contract, where risk is shared, risk is understood, and where that dialogue remains strong, that's the type of relationship we need, and that's what I would need out of any future house builder, which we've enjoyed in bucket loads from Wates.
Brilliant. It must be music to your ears, isn't it, Dave?
It cuts both ways, doesn't it? Being reasonable about the management of risk and, in many ways putting the contract to one side and being sensible about understanding each other's issues, and the fact that the reality is none of us have created some of the situations we've had to deal with over the past 2 years. It's been a macroeconomic and global issue that we've had to respond to. I have to say the way Incrementum and the council have supported and understood the challenges we've got has been, as you say, music to our ears, and it's true partnership work, and the reciprocal of that is we ensure our behaviours are appropriate, and we are hopefully reasonable and proactive in everything we do.
So, Dave, why does Wates want to be involved in this sort of scheme specifically? Housing in Warrington. Why does that appeal to the company?
So I think you go back to the fact that delivery of housing has been part of our history. 125 years ago, Wates started delivering housing. It was their first venture, and we've continued on doing that through our residential businesses for many years. But the North West construction business is particularly interested in working with local authorities to unlock opportunities such as this, where we're delivering innovative housing solutions through our frameworks. For us, the most important thing is it's an opportunity to really give back and lead in the built environment. As far as sort of placemaking is concerned, and improving the local urban environment and providing, I suppose, a sense of place really for the community. It really does align with our values.
In terms of this project, when it's completed, what's your vision in terms of how it's going to benefit people from Warrington and also the town of Warrington and the borough?
I think we'll help create a community. Incrementum's vision has certainly led to that, and I think also we'll really tackle fuel poverty, or certainly give a good example of what can be done to tackle fuel poverty if people and clients are willing to embrace low carbon technologies. So yeah, the legacy is placemaking and a sustainable place to live.
Warrington's quite well known for being commercially savvy and its investments both in the borough and out of the borough. How does the investment in terms of schemes like this and Incrementum feed into the council's social and corporate aims?
Yeah, well, as I say, we have a corporate ambition of delivering good quality, low carbon homes in sustainable communities. So if you take that as a policy directive, this scheme does all of those things. We have ground source heat pump here. I think we're the first, certainly in Warrington and perhaps in the northwest, to deliver a scheme on this scale using ground source heat pumps. Every home has got photovoltaic panels, and they're built to very, very high energy efficiency standards. So that's sustainability is embedded from the outset in the design. And when we're designing the scheme, we're not necessarily designing the scheme for maximal commercial reasons. We're doing it to really make the scheme more sustainable in terms of a community cohesiveness. And as you'll see when you walk around the site, the way it's designed, it's designed to create a sense of community.
Yeah. So what next for Incrementum going forward then? What are the aims in terms of what you want to deliver and when? Okay,
so we've got this scheme that's, as you know, is 90 units. We have another 80 units going in simultaneous delivery to this one on the other side of town. We've got 3 or 4 other sites now lined up, which we hope we're going to deliver up to 300 homes over the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and last question, how important is help from central government and Homes England in terms of providing funding to plug that viability gap? We hear a lot about viability at the moment, and that extra support financially must be quite important.
Well, it's always been important to make sure you're delivering a quality scheme, but it's never been more important than now, because we've seen construction price inflation racing away. That has really put viability under pressure, and without that strategic assistance that you can enjoy from working in partnership with Homes England, then some of these schemes just become unviable. So as a placemaker in the local area and as a national champion for housing, between Homes England, Warrington Borough Council and with a good contractor like Wates, that's how we bring forward these schemes, and long may that continue.